Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I am doing my wrap up for June. I have read 8 books. Some of them were 5 stars, some of them were 2 stars. And I also, of the 8, there was 1 graphic novel. So I'm going to share with you what I read and what I thought of them. So I started off really well in June. On June 6th and June 7th, I read a book in 2 days, which is amazing for me. I read The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tourer. This book I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Whenever I read a book really fast, that means I'm really enjoying it, and I gave it 5 stars. It's about a woman who does cyber sex on the computer, and she lives in an apartment for 3 years. She never left her house because she has these thoughts about killing somebody, and so she locks herself in her apartment. But then something happens. It's a psychological thriller, and it was really good. It kept me engrossed throughout the whole thing. There is explicit sex scenes in this book, so just to give you a warning, it is an adult book. So but I gave it 5 stars. So the next book I picked up was also an adult book, I think. I gave the next book 3.5 stars, and the name of the book is called The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Hayden, and it looks like this one. So yes, the dog is upside down. My son's like, that book's upside down. I'm like, no, it's not. But this is what I read. This was recommended by the nurse at the school that I work at. She let me borrow her book, and she said it was really good. I read this also in 3 days. I read this book. It's about a 16-year-old boy that has autism, and throughout the book, the only thing, I liked the book, but the only thing that annoyed me was he kept on referencing things about math throughout, and it kind of like, it just annoyed me at that point, and I wound up skipping those parts in order to finish the book. So but I did like all in all, I did like the story, so I gave it 3.5 stars. Okay, the next book, I read this with Read with Friends Goodreads group, and I read this from June 9th to June 14th. I gave this book only 2 stars. The best thing I like about this book is the cover, and you already know that I searched for this book. It's Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. I did not like this book at all. The best part is the cover. I like the cover, but the book I didn't really like. There was a lot of explicit cursing throughout, and I don't like cursing. So and I just did not like the main character at all. He just was like stuck up, and I just couldn't, I don't know. I only gave this book 2 stars, and the movie's coming out. I doubt I will go see the movie because I did not like the book at all. So the next book that I picked up, I gave this one 4.5 stars. This I read from June 15th to June 21st, and it is Slam by Colleen Hoover, which is this one. So I really enjoyed this book. It is a new adult, but I think that young adult could read this book. This is one of the first books that Colleen Hoover had written. There's not that much sexual content in this book, and I really enjoyed it. But there is some major life stories about parents being dead when they were young, and there are some other issues that are in this book, so maybe that's why it's new adult. But I really did enjoy it. There is some poetry within the book. The poetry I did have to read twice because I didn't understand it, but all in all, I did enjoy the book. I gave it 4.5 stars. So the next book that I picked up, I read this from June 19th to June 24th, and the book is called My Sunshine Away by M.O. Walsh, and it looks like this one. and I read this. I gave this 3 stars. It's about a 40-year-old man who is telling a story about a girl that was raped when he was younger in his teen years. So it does flip around a lot. He's telling the story 20 years prior. And so you get the past and the present, which gets confusing for me. So, but the whole book, you're trying to figure out, did he do it? Was he the rapist? Like, you're trying to figure out, and they do other characters too, and so you're trying to figure out, was he the rapist or was he not? And that part I liked, like trying to figure out who did it, and I was surprised at the result. So anyway, the next book that I read, this one I read with Read with Friends. Again, I read this from June 22nd to June 27th, and this one I did not like at all. I gave it 2 stars. What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick. It's this one. Again, I liked the cover, but I did not like the story. The characters just annoyed me. I couldn't relate to any of the characters except for the old lady in the story. She was quite funny, but she only showed up maybe twice or 3 times within the book, and I just didn't like it at all. So I gave it 2 stars. And this is the second time that I read Huntley Fitzpatrick, and I didn't like her other book as well. So I don't think I will be picking up another one of her books. Okay, the next book I read was a graphic novel. I picked this up from the library, and I read this on June 29th, and it is Attack of the Titan, and this is book 1, and I gave it 3 stars. So this one was very violent. It had very violent images, and it had giants eating people. So just be aware of that. So if you are reading it, if your teen is reading that or whatever, it is very violent. So, and the last book that I read, and I just finished this, I read it yesterday and today. It is an audio book that I took out from the library, and I read another book by him, and I really enjoyed it. But this one I gave 5 stars. The name of the book is called Adultery, and I just had this out from the library. I really enjoyed this book. It's about a woman in her 30s who is married for 10 years. She has children and a job, yet she wanders and feels lonely, and she finds comfort within with another man. So I don't agree with the topic, but the story, when she's telling the story, and some of it I could relate with, and it was really good. Some of the quotes that I took down from the book were, love isn't just a feeling, it's an art, and like art, it takes not only inspiration, but also a lot of work. That was one of the quotes. The second quote that I took out from that book, you will never be able to escape from your heart, so it's better to listen to what it has to say. And the third quote, when every day seems the same, it is because we have stopped noticing the good things that appear in our lives. So those are all the books that I read for the month of June. And now what I am currently reading, I'm not going to do a TBR, but I'm just going to show you what I'm currently reading. So I started Shadow and Bone, but this is for the book Read with Friends book club, and I don't know if I'm going to be liking it. I did start it, and I'm not very far into it, so we'll see. I'm only on page 22, so I didn't get very far. So this will be for the month of July. I started listening to, on audio, Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and I am enjoying it. I am on page 156, which I'm halfway through the book already, so, and that's on audio. So that's this, and I am still reading this one very slowly, but I'm reading it. I thought maybe I would finish it for June, but I didn't get it finished, so this will be continued into July. I'm still reading Screwdrivered by Alice Clayton. Yes, why am I still reading this one? Everything is taking my attention, but I am at page 188, and I do have the next book after this one, so I'm hoping to finish this in July. And I also started Me Before You, and I did read whatever I read so far. I'm on page 68, and I really enjoyed what I read so far, but of course everything else is keeping my attention, so I will continue reading this in the month of July. And maybe I will pick this up again. This is Throne of Glass. I did start read this for the Read with Friends last month, but I fell behind, and I am only on page 138. So I'm hoping that maybe I will pick this up again. I just love the cover. The cover is purple, and that's my favorite color. So I don't know if I like the story, but I do love the cover. So these are the books that I am still reading that will continue into the month of July. So hopefully I will not DNF them, and I will finish them in the month of July. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!